Good afternoon, everyone. I am Kashish Verma, member of ASME SOU student section. On the behalf of ASME SOU student section, I would like to welcome our chairman, Ms. Bhumika Waghela, our special speaker, Mr. Path Panchal, Achievement Google IT Automatic Course, Android Development Machine Learning Course, and Mr. Path Shuhagya, Internship at Brainy Beam Technology. Today, 29 January 2022, our first workshop on Python. As per you know, today is our first day of workshop and we will cover the things like what is Python, why Python, how to download Python and many more. Now I would like to request Mr. Parth to take over and start the amazing section on Python. Thank you.
Yes, sure. मेरी आवाज आ रही है आपको? I hope I'm clearly audible to all of you. So let's start today's session, and let me introduce all of you myself first. So my full name is Parth Hasmukh Panchal, and I'm currently in the 8th semester of computer engineering. I'm still currently studying right now. Apart from that, I'm working as a Flutter developer in IT industry. The company's name is SevenSpan. I've completed, if I talk about my achievements, then I've completed Android development course from Coursera. Also machine learning course from Coursera, Google IT automation course from Coursera. Yes, so these are the courses that I have completed. And I have pretty much experience about these tools as you can see here. VS Code, which is used to build your website or software. Firebase tool, which is provided by Google, through which we can store our data, and everything is managed by Google. And Visual Studio, which is provided by Microsoft, MySQL, Postman, Android Studio. So these are the tools that we use in our daily work to build a high-end software. As I'm talking about a work experience, then I'm currently working at a SevenSpan as a Flutter developer, and Flutter is used to make mobile applications like Android and iOS. Also, I have skills regarding Python, Flutter technology, JavaScript, Android, HTML, CSS, PHP. So these are the skills that I have, and I have pretty much experience about these skills. And you can get in touch with my social media platforms. The username is given here, and my email ID is phpanchal842001@gmail.com. So you can send me an email at any given time. So if I show about my projects, then here is my personal website. You can just check it out, hecheaker.tech on Google. I've completed an Amazon clone website, which is just exactly clone of Amazon website. Also sleep tracker tool, which is pretty handy to manage your sleeping schedule. Also a chat room application, which is just similar to Google Meet, but it doesn't provide a functionality of means a voice chat and screen sharing. Apart from that, I completed an online examination system, which is which can become very helpful in throughout this pandemic. Also, these are the applications like Detector, WhatsApp bot, and blogging website, face recognition, attendance systems. So these are my projects that I have completed. So yes, that's it for my introduction. Now, Parth Suagya, just you can introduce yourself.
So yes, my full name is Parth Maheshbhai Swagya. I'm currently also studying in 8th semester at field computer engineering. I'm also working as a web developer at Saligram Tech Infotech, and I learned Python Django framework, which is used for a web development program. And I used my MySQL database tool for store data and access the servers and all. Also use Visual Studio, PyCharm, and Android Studio for programming and software development. And I have also skills in JavaScript, HTML, CSS. I saying you web development, and also done projects on Android, and also done Python Django framework, web application development. These are my social media account details, so you can get in touch with me. So yes, that's
Yeah, sure. So let's start from today's our first introduction about what is Python. And basically everyone is talking about Python nowadays, but what actually it is. So Python is a general purpose, interpreted, interactive, object oriented, and high level programming language. Is basically a programming language through which we can make an we can let the computers to perform our tasks. Python is very helpful in every field of we can use it to make an automation in our bring automation in our work. If you are working in a मैकेनिकल कंपनी देन मीन्स हमारे यहाँ कोई भी कंपनी के मशीन्स होते हैं तो ऑटोमेटिक उसको वर्क कैसे करेंगे, तो हम बेसिकली पाइथन थ्रू पाइथन हम एक स्क्रिप्ट बनाएंगे जो कि कंप्यूटर है वो रिपीटेटिव टास्क को कैसे एग्जीक्यूट करना है वो सब मैनेज करेगा. एंड देन it was created by Guido van Rossum during 1985 to 1990. Means ज्यादा लोगों को ऐसा है कि पाइथन अभी लेटेस्ट ही बिल्ड हुआ है, बट नहीं, ये पाइथन बहुत पहले से है. 1985 में गुइडो वैन रोसम नाम के एक डेवलपर ने उसको इन्वेंट किया था. लाइक पर्ल पाइथन सोर्स कोड इज आल्सो अवेलेबल अंडर जीएनयू जनरल पब्लिक लाइसेंस. मींस जिस प्लेटफॉर्म और कैसे पाइथन को बनाया है उन्होंने वो आप देख सकते हो क्योंकि वो ओपन सोर्स है. Alright. Python is a high-level interpreted, interactive and object-oriented scripting language. उसका मतलब क्या हुआ कि Python means एक हाई लेवल लैंग्वेज है. अब सपोज हम कम्युनिकेट करते हैं एक पर्सन से दूसरे पर्सन तक, तो we can easily communicate with other, like we have language barrier. All right. So we can communicate with other through English language or our local language. But how do we communicate with softwares or computers because they don't have ability to understand our language? So the only language that computers understand is the binary language. हम सबको पता है कि कंप्यूटर सिर्फ बाइनरी लैंग्वेज अंडरस्टैंड करता है जो कि 0 और 1 की फॉर्म में होता है. तो हम क्या कर सकते हैं कि हमारी जो लैंग्वेज है उसको कन्वर्ट मीन्स बाइनरी लैंग्वेज में कर सकते हैं. तो पाइथन यही प्लेटफॉर्म प्रोवाइड करता है कि सपोज हम कोई भी कोड ही करते हैं वो एग्जैक्ट सिमिलर होता है कि हमारी लैंग्वेज से कीवर्ड्स और वो सब, बट एंड देन इट्स executing this whole script into a binary form which is useful for the computer to execute. All right. मीन्स यहाँ पर कंपाइलर और इंटरप्रेटर दो कॉन्सेप्ट है जो कि ट्रांसलेटर की तरह वर्क करता है. ट्रांसलेटर मीन्स एक स्क्रिप्ट होती है कि सपोज हम कोई भी कोडिंग कर सकते हैं, तो डायरेक्ट कोडिंग को हम कोडिंग मीन्स डायरेक्ट कोड कंप्यूटर नहीं अंडरस्टैंड कर सकता. तो हमारे कोड को उसके अंडरस्टैंडेबल फॉर्म में कन्वर्ट करने के लिए हमें ट्रांसलेटर का यूज करना पड़ेगा. तो ट्रांसलेटर कन्वर्ट करता है हमारे कोड को उसके अंडरस्टैंडेबल फॉर्मेट मीन्स बाइनरी फॉर्म से. तो ट्रांसलेटर के दो टाइप्स है, कंपाइलर एंड इंटरप्रेटर. ऑलराइट. सो कंपाइलर कन्वर्ट करता है, कैसे कन्वर्ट करता है कि सपोज मैंने कोई भी कोड किया, एक स्क्रिप्ट बनाई, बरोबर, और वो स्क्रिप्ट को एक ही वो इंटरमीडिएट कोड मीन्स इंटरमीडिएट कोड है उसका वो जनरेट करता है. वो इंटरमीडिएट कोड मीन्स ऐसा कोड होता है कि जो इजीली अंडरस्टैंड वो इजीली चेंज कर सकता है कंप्यूटर और इजीली अंडरस्टैंड कर सकता है. तो वो वो है कंपाइलर की डेफिनेशन. एंड इंटरप्रेटर मीन्स क्या है कि वो डायरेक्ट एग्जीक्यूट कर सकता है कि सपोज मैंने एक स्क्रिप्ट बनाई है तो वो इंटरमीडिएट कोड नहीं जनरेट करेगा. इंटरप्रेटर डायरेक्ट मशीन रीडेबल फॉर्म में कन्वर्ट करेगा. सो ये है कंपाइलर और इंटरप्रेटर की डेफिनेशन. और पाइथन एक इंटरप्रेटेड लैंग्वेज है जो कि काफी स्लो है. ऑलराइट. पाइथन इज डिजाइन टू बी हाईली रीडेबल, मीन्स पाइथन को ऐसे डिजाइन किया गया है कि कोई भी इसे इजीली सीख सकता है और समझ सकता है, क्योंकि उसके मोस्ट ऑफ जो कीवर्ड्स होते हैं वो हमारी इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज से मैच करते हैं, तो इजीली वी कैन read the Python script and understand it. It uses English keywords frequently, whereas other languages use punctuations, and it has a fewer syntactical constructions than other languages. Means उसकी जो syntax है, means हम लोग कैसे पाइथन को कोड करते हैं, उसकी एक स्पेसिफिक सिंटैक्स होती है कि हमको ये टास्क परफॉर्म करना है तो हमको ऐसे ही कोड करना पड़ेगा. सो दैट इज आवर सिंटैक्स पर्पस. सो दैट इज सिंटैक्स. एंड उसके जो पाइथन की सिंटैक्स है वो एकदम बेसिक है, कोई भी इजीली अंडरस्टैंड कर सकता है और सीख सकता है. पाइथन इज अ मस्ट फॉर स्टूडेंट्स एंड वर्किंग प्रोफेशनल्स टू बिकम अ ग्रेट सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर, स्पेशली व्हेन दे आर वर्किंग इन अ वेब डेवलपमेंट डोमेन. सो पाइथन जो लैंग्वेज है वो वर्किंग प्रोफेशनल है, जो सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर मीन्स सॉफ्टवेयर इंडस्ट्री में काम करते हैं, उसके लिए बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट लैंग्वेज है. मीन्स वेब डेवलपमेंट डोमेन जो वेबसाइट है वो काफी इजीली एंड सिक्योर वेबसाइट बन सकती है पाइथन थ्रू पाइथन. So these were the this is what Python it is, and the features of Python and why we use it will explain Mr. Parth Suhagia. So
yes.
Parth,
So the features of Python, why the developer should use this language. Okay, कि क्या ऐसी तो क्या चीज़ है जो पाइथन में कि लोग ये प्रिफर करते हैं या स्टडी में बिगिनिंग के लेवल में, क्योंकि ये इजी टू लर्न है, इजी टू रीड है. इसमें फ्यू कीवर्ड्स ही यूज होते हैं एंड स्ट्रक्चर इसका सिंपल होता है. मतलब यू कैन इजीली रीडेबल, इट इजीली रीडेबल. ओके, आपको अंडरस्टैंडेबल होगा एंड उसको मेंटेन करना भी इजी होता है. जो अगर आप सी लैंग्वेज जानते हो तो उसमें थोड़ा कर्ली ब्रैकेट्स एंड ये वो सब होता है, इसमें वो सब नहीं करना पड़ता है, इजीली मेंटेन कर सकते हैं. और इसकी जो स्टैंडर्ड लाइब्रेरी है जो हम प्लेटफॉर्म इंडिपेंडेंट है, मतलब वो यूनिक्स विंडोज एंड मैक में भी यूज कर सकते हैं. और इंटरेक्टिव मोड मतलब उसमें हम जब डिबग करते हैं या टेस्टिंग के लिए पाइथन में यूज करते हैं जब, तो वो ज़्यादा इंटरेक्टिव एंड इजी रहता है किसी भी डेवलपर के लिए. एंड देन डेटाबेसेस, तो पाइथन इंटरफेस प्रोवाइड करता है डेटाबेस के लिए जो इजीली यू कैन like you have business and you have a web application for your business, you can easily use these databases for your business, like commercial databases and all. Then is GUI programming. then तो पाइथन वो भी एक सपोर्टिव है कि अगर आपको कोई ग्राफिकल इंटरफेस बनाना है जो यूजर के लिए इजीली रीडेबल हो, या क्या क्या फंक्शन करता है आपका सॉफ्टवेयर, वो आप इजीली उसमें दिखा सकते हो ग्राफिकल यूजर इंटरफेस से. ओके, एंड देन पोर्टेबिलिटी, तो वो किसी भी प्लेटफॉर्म पे एक ही प्रोग्राम अगर आप बनाओगे तो हार्डवेयर इंडिपेंडेंट से, मतलब यूनिक्स में भी चल सकता है, मैक में भी चल सकता है, फिर विंडोज में भी चल सकता है. That's it. Okay. So easy to learn means Python has a few keywords, simple structure and clearly defined syntax. This allows the student to pick up the language quickly. As I said, okay, जो मैं हिंदी में कहा वही कि few keywords है यूज करते हैं जो हम बार बार रिपीट करते हैं, वही कि स्ट्रक्चर सिंपल है उसका. then you can easily read. Python code is more clearly defined and visible to the eyes. मतलब अगर आप कोडिंग कर रहे हैं तो आपको पता रहता है कि ये कोड अभी लिखा है, तो मतलब simple. तो you can see in this course, okay, how it's work. And Python source code is fairly easy to maintain. Python, a board standard library. Python's bulk of the library is very portable and cross-platform compatible for on Unix, Windows, and Macintosh. Means Mac. Okay, interactive mode means Python has support an interactive mode which allows interactive testing and debugging of snippets of code. And next slide. Portable, so Python can run on wide variety of hardware platform and has the same interface on all platform. Means all you use in Windows and all then Mac and Ubuntu, Linux. Expandable, you can add low-level modules to the Python interpreter. These modules enable programmers to add or customize their tools to be more efficient. You can change your tools while you use a Python language and Python interpreter. Databases, Python provides interfaces to all major commercial databases. As I said, you can use a Python provided database easily. GUI programming, Python supports GUI application that can be created and ported to many system calls. Libraries and Windows system such as Windows MFC, Macintosh, and the X Windows system of Unix. मतलब उसका GUI application that can be created. मतलब तुम अगर create करते हो कोई भी Windows system में तो you can run on different platform. Okay, Mac and Unix. Scalable, Python provides a better structure and support for large program than shell scripting. जो CMD और command line prompt में use कर सकते हो वो scalable. Okay. Okay. Next. Okay. What's next? So here are some real life usage of Python. So how you use the Python in real world? तो mainly तो अभी AI and machine learning वेरी फेमस है जो जिसके लिए स्टूडेंट्स ज़्यादा प्रेफर करते हैं पाइथन सीखना. सब फिर एंटरप्राइजेस लेवल एंड बिजनेस में भी ज़्यादातर मशीन लर्निंग यूज़ होता है आजकल. एंड वेब डेवलपमेंट एंड गेम डेवलपमेंट में भी पाइथन यूज़ होता है. इट्स अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक फॉर nowadays, and also used for software development and education program and training courses, language development and operating system also you can build with Python, and web scraping applications you can build with Python. Okay, that's it. And okay, next, how to you use Python and how to install Python. This let Parth Panchal further. So Parth.
Okay, so thank you, Parth Suagia, for letting us know that what are the features and what are the characteristics of Python. Now we'll see the real-time usage of Python. So in which cases we use a Python programming language. So like in automation industry, like हम देखते हैं कि अभी टेस्ला के बहुत ऑटोमेटिक व्हीकल आ गए कि वो अपने आप ड्राइव हो सकता है. तो वो सब कैसे है कि आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस एंड मशीन लर्निंग की वजह से है. और आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस एंड मशीन लर्निंग है वो we can how we can achieve that. We need some tools and some medium so that we can achieve such a level of intelligence in our system. So the Python provides a medium so for that, and we can easily achieve our task and build a machine learning model for that. So और हम और एग्जाम्पल देखने जाए तो पाइथन को हम वेबसाइट बनाने में मीन्स आज बहुत सारी वेबसाइट्स है जो कि वल्नरेबल है। वल्नरेबल मीन्स कि वो सिक्योर नहीं है, बट पाइथन हमको ऐसी सर्विस प्रोवाइड करता है कि हम सिक्योर एंड वेरी सेफ वेबसाइट्स बना सकते हैं। So here is a Python's official website, how from where we can download and learn the Python. Someone has drawn something in. Also, can you remove this drawing from the screen? Okay, let it ignore. Mm. So how do we install a Python in our own system? So first of all, python.org is their official website from where you can download and install Python's IDLE, which means which stands for Integrated Development Language Environment. It provides us all the tools and easy to install libraries through which we can easily execute and make script or do programming in Python language. So in the when you go go to python.org website, you will see the download section here, and from there you can download it. Python's latest version. So the current version of Python is 3.10.2, which means it is the latest version. So let's install it. So after clicking after opening the .exe file, you will see something means I've already installed it in my system. So first of all, I'll uninstall Python from my system, and then I'll reinstall it from in front of you so that you can understand how it works. So ये python.org वेबसाइट से आप ये बहुत सारे लॉग्स एंड डॉक्यूमेंट्स प्रोवाइड करता है कि आप इजीली पाइथन को सीख सकते हो। लाइक सपोज docs.python.org वेबसाइट पे हम जाते हैं तो व्हाट्स न्यू इन पाइथन 3.10 मीन्स वो इसमें वो बताएंगे कि पाइथन के लास्ट वर्जन से पाइथन के ये जो लेटेस्ट अपडेट वर्जन आया है उसमें क्या चेंजेस किए हैं उन लोगों ने। सो क्या अपडेट्स है वो सब इजीली आप यू कैन refer that tutorial. A tutorial website is through which you can easily learn all the Pythons from scratch. It has the range of documents, so you can refer it. So after downloading the Python, you just need to open the python.exe file, and it will show the pop-up window like this, and you must take this add python 3.10 to path variable. आपको इंस्टॉल करते वक्त ये एड वो जो चेक बॉक्स है वो टिक करना ही होगा, so that you can easily run the Python script from your terminal or command line. Or then we have to click on next, install now. So that's it, guys. We have installed Python in our system. As you can see, the setup was successful, which means we have already which means we have successfully installed Python in our system. So let's execute it, and from where we can execute the Python. So press Windows plus R in Windows system, so that you will get a pop-up like this, a CMD or run run window. From there, you have to press CMD, or you have to type CMD command and hit OK, so that you will get a command line CMD from like this. So how do we check we have Python or not in our system? So just type Python dash dash version. It will give the version of our installed Python version. So we have installed Python version 3.10.2, which means we have successfully installed the Python. And now let's execute and make our first program in Python. So just type Python and it will enter in a Python IDE, which means we can write any script or any command which provided by Python in to here, and it will execute. It will execute it. Suppose we are typing 3 plus 2. 3 plus 2. All right. So it will give us 5, which means we have successfully completed operations of addition operator. And Python have provided, suppose we want to print something on our screen, then we can use a print function like this, print, and then we have to say hello world or whatever you want to print, and then hit enter. Then as you can see, we have successfully completed our first Python program in IDE. But suppose I want to make a big script here. All right, so let me just make a script to print a number from 1 to 10. So that for that I'll use a for loop. You don't need to understand the whole code. We'll teach you throughout this session. All right, so for I in so it give us an error. So what's the error? Let's check it. Expected an indented block after for loop. So it means we have encounter. So it gives an indentation error, which means we have to give a space below the for loop. And now let's try it. Hit enter. So successfully we have created a script for printing number from 0 to 9. Suppose I want to save my work over here. So how do we save this work? We cannot save it here. So that's if I close the CMD window here, then our whole work is gone, and we cannot access it later. So that's why the Python has provided an extension called .py. Through .py extension, we can save our Python scripts in our folder. Like, let me create a folder for this webinar. In this folder, we will save our everything, every Python script. Okay. So let's create a file over here. File here. New. You can create any file, just change extension. Suppose my first script. All right, and then after typing your name of the file, you must have to mention this mention the extension of the file to .py extension, which is the Python's inbuilt extension, and you can write a code in this file. So don't forget to mention .py extension over here and hit yes. So we have successfully created a Python script, but nothing is inside it. So let's create and type something. I'm using Visual Studio Code over here to for my work, and it gives us a very handy tool. You can also install it from Google, and it's free. So this is my folder, and remember that my first script we have created, it is shown here. So let's open it. So nothing is inside the Python script. So now let's type something. Print hello world. Okay. So just to save the script, now open the CMD again from window plus R, and you will see in pop-up like this. Just type CMD command and hit OK. So you will get a CMD window. Now just enter desktop or wherever your folder and file is. Just a second. So now we are in our Python's main directory, or where our Python file is. You can do it by typing a CMD command from, let me show you. So this is our whole Python directory where we have created a Python script. You can just type CMD over here, and it will open a command line terminal from inside the folder or work directory. Just the command to run Python script is Python space the file name which we have created, and over here is my first script.py. All right, now hit enter. So you can see over here we have created a Python script, and we can now say our work inside this script, and we can execute it anytime. So now let's see what are the data types of Python. Data type means Python has three types of data. It is integer, string, float, which means we can store our data in like integer. Integer means a number, by a number, suppose 5, 10, which is a number, right? So it is an integer. Suppose if I want I will talk about float number. Then float number is used to store a fraction part of the number, which means we have 45.5. Then we can store it. It is called as a floating number. So yes, it is floating number. And a string, string which is any string variable, or we can specify it in inside a double quotation or a single quotation. We can save any data over here. Suppose I have already shown you that how do we print hello world. All right, so this is a string data. This is floating data, and the above a is integer variable, integer data. All right, so these are the data types in Python. We can there is one more data type called Boolean expression, which is used to store a Boolean data. Means either true or false. The data is can be only there is only two possibilities: true and false. All right, so we can assign this data to variable either true or false. That's it. So this is false variable, and if I want to print something on the screen, then I can use print command from Python. Print a. All right, so it will print a. I will print the whole every variable, and will run the whole script. So now we can run it. The command is Python space file name, which is my first script.py. So as you can see, we have printed a, means which is 56, and b means with 45.5, hello world, and false. All right, so this is how we can print anything on the screen in Python. Now Now we can we'll learn what are the operators we can use in Python. In Python, if you want to addition of two integers, then you can do it easily. Suppose I have two integers called named as 5 and b as and I'm assigning this variable to 45. All right, so let's apply addition operation. A plus b. The plus here is to use addition operation, which means we can add both the variables and print it print it in our screen. So let's save the script and run it again. The command is python space my first script.py. So it gives us a 50 number, and the Python has added both the variables and give us a successfully result. Like this, we can also subtract one variable. B. Let me zoom it so that you can clearly visible. B minus A, which means we are subtracting A from B. Now let's say this work and here go back to our terminal. So guys, please don't do this. Don't draw something on my screen. I don't know how to do it. Just a second. Now, yes. So we can now execute our whole script. And how do we execute it? Python space my first script.py. All right. So we have successfully subtracted A, which is 5 from 45, and Python gave us 40 number, which is true, I think. Now let's multiply it. So it is a multiplication operation. We can multiply two integers using this multiplication operation. The symbol is a star. Through star, we can easily multiply.
Hello, Parth,
Yes.
please stop.
Yeah, sure.
Those who are annotating, please stop it. Otherwise, I will remove you from the meeting. Okay. This is the last warning.
Okay. So now let's continue. Through multiplication operation, we can multiply two integers like 45 multiplied by 5, and Python will successfully do that. So 225 is the result. So this is how we can multiply, and using a slash, by using slash, we can divide any two integers. Okay. So it will give us a floating number, which is a 9.0. And if you want to check the data type of any variable or any result in Python, then you can use type function, which gives us the result of the Python variable. Okay, suppose let's declare a result variable and assign our operation over here. Okay, so we have stored our result in a result variable. Now, if I want to check the data type of result variable, then we can use a type function, which is provided by Python, and we'll pass it our result variable over here. So yes. Now let's script run it. So it is a class float, means it is a floating number. All right, if I'll replace the result with A, then it will give us a integer. So it gives int, means integer. All right. So this is how we can use a Python's inbuilt operation, which is very easy to use and you can do it easily. Now, if you want to, so if I'm talking about this above code, so then why this is not executing? It is called as commenting in Python. If you want to comment any code in Python, commenting means the code that which cannot execute throughout our script throughout the execution. So it is just a commenting line. मीन्स ये एग्जीक्यूट नहीं होगा हमारे कोड में. सो आगे कोई भी लाइन के आगे हैशटैग लगाने से आप किसी भी लाइन को कमेंट में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हो. लाइक हैशटैग ए, which means this line will not execute through in our whole script. So this is how you can comment in Python. कमेंटिंग हमको कैसे हेल्पफुल होती है कि सपोज आपको बहुत सारे लाइन का 300-400 लाइन का कोई प्रोग्राम है को बनाना है, तो आप इजीली कंफ्यूज हो जाओगे कि मैंने कौन सा वेरिएबल कैसे यूज किया. तो आप उसके आगे कमेंट यूज कर सकते हो. सपोज इफ आई कमेंट हियर देन रिजल्ट इज यूज्ड टू स्टोर और रिजल्ट. ओके, so this is how you can comment in Python, and it is very helpful to comment in our Python script because as our Python script becomes more longer, it becomes more difficult to manage our whole code, and हम खुद ही कंफ्यूज हो जाएंगे कि हमने कौन सा वेरिएबल किस पर्पस के लिए यूज किया है. सो दैट्स व्हाई वी हैव टू यूज we should use commenting in Python. So now let's input. अगर हमको यूजर से कोई इनपुट लेना है तो हम वो कैसे लेंगे. सपोज इफ आई वांट टू टेक एन इनपुट ऑफ नंबर, देन हाउ डू आई गेट इट. एंड हम ए वेरिएबल में स्टोर करेंगे. तो पाइथन में इनपुट वेरिएबल इनपुट फंक्शन है जो कि यूजर का इनपुट लेने में हेल्प करता है. सपोज एंटर एनी नंबर, हम हमेशा अंदर टाइप करेंगे एंटर एनी नंबर. ओके, and we'll convert this into an integer. Okay, integer function is used to convert any form of data into an integer. Suppose हमारे पास floating number आया है तो उसको हम integer में कैसे convert करें. तो int function को use करके हम floating या कोई भी function है उसको convert कर सकते हैं string में और integer में. Sorry. Print you have entered plus str of a. जैसे कि हम कन्वर्ट एनी नंबर और फ्लोटिंग नंबर को इंटीजर में कैसे कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं, ऐसे सीखा हमने कि इंट फंक्शन से कर सकते हैं. वैसे ही हम str फंक्शन का यूज करके इंटीजर को भी स्ट्रिंग में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं. और इधर प्लस ऑपरेशन मीन्स वी हैव यूज्ड कॉन्केटेनेशन ऑफ टू स्ट्रिंग, मीन्स हमने दो स्ट्रिंग को ज्वाइन किया है. बरोबर. type over here. So now let's execute our script and let's check what's the output. So it asks us for entering any number. So हमको कोई भी number type करना पड़ेगा CMD में. Suppose I have typed 5 number and press enter. So you have entered 5 number. देखा हमारा ये कोड है वो execute होके इधर दिख गया कि you have entered 5 number. अगर हम फिर से execute करके 10 नंबर लिखेंगे तो वो हमको 10 नंबर दिखाएगा. So this is how input function in Python works, and you can get easily input from your user in Python. The type if I talk about type conversion, then let's learn it. If I have a number of 3, but it is in a string format. All right. As you can see, there is a double quotation surrounded by this 3 number. So it is a string variable. Now let's check the type of variable A. It is a class of string, which means ये हमारा string है. बट हम अगर स्ट्रिंग को कोई नंबर इंटीजर से ऐड करेंगे तो वो ऑपरेशन वर्क नहीं करेगा, क्योंकि ये एक स्ट्रिंग है और हम सपोज कोई बी वेरिएबल लेते हैं और उसको इंटीजर से, और ये इंटीजर है, देखा आपने कि जो डबल कोटेशन से सराउंडेड नहीं है, अगर हम इसको ऐड करेंगे तो ये हमको एरर देगा like this, unsupported operand types for type, which means you cannot do addition operation on with the help of there is a string and integer. Only though integer और दो float ही addition कर सकते हैं हम. But what if I want to use this and add this in B, so we can easily convert the string into an integer variable through this int function, और हमको अभी ये एरर नहीं देगा क्योंकि वो int में कन्वर्ट हो चुका है. Means int argument must be a string. Oh, all right. A है, all right. हमने a को integer में कन्वर्ट कर दिया अभी हम so yes, we can get the 6 number. All right. So this is how we can convert a string into an integer. So this is called as a type conversion in Python. All right. So let's learn more about strings. Suppose I have a string which is named as I love Python. All right. Suppose हमको कोई पर्टिकुलर वर्ड और पर्टिकुलर कैरेक्टर हमको एक्सेस करना है कि हम कैसे सिलेक्ट करेंगे, तो हम वो भी कर सकते हैं इन पाइथन. I want to print only L from this whole string. So that how do I print it? And I'll give indexing number. So in Python, everything works on index. Suppose I have this I love Python string. So it gives every character an index number. So the I gives I will receive 0 index number. The space character will receive 1 index number. So this is how how the whole system works. And if I print a of 0, then we'll get only I. Okay. Now let's run it. So as you can see, we have get only I. But if I print whole word, whole string or whole variable, then it gives us the whole string I love Python. So this is how indexing works. And the Python indexing is starts from 0 character 0, which means 0 से start होता है और end तक जाता है. Means a dot length variable मीन्स हमारे पास एक फंक्शन है लेन करके. लेन फंक्शन का यूज करके हम किसी भी स्ट्रिंग और किसी भी डेटा टाइप का लेंथ है, वो कितना लेंथ है तो वो काउंट कर सकते हैं. सो लेंथ फंक्शन का यूज हमने ए डाला लेंथ फंक्शन में. सो लेट्स चेक इट व्हाट इज द लेंथ ऑफ आवर आई लव पाइथन स्ट्रिंग. So it gives us 13 result, which means this string has 13 characters inside it. Let's count it. First, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 30. All right, perfect. So this is how indexing works. And if I want a particular keyword, or I want to access only Python from this whole string, then I can do it easily with throughout it. Suppose I just have to specify the index of that character, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The indexing of p character is 8, right? So we can specify it. And through column we can add more variable like 13. Or the 7. So yes, so this is how we can access only targeted variables or targeted data from our whole string, and this is how indexing works. Now if I want to convert the whole string into an uppercase character, then I can easily use a inbuilt method provided by Python. Suppose a dot upper. ऐसे करके हम पूरे सब कैरेक्टर को अपर केस में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं. If I will now execute as you can see, we have converted the whole string into an uppercase character. ऐसा ही हम lower function का use करके lower string में convert कर सकते हैं सभी character को. As you can see, I love Python. All right. So this is how string works. भी conditional operation का use करके. Suppose हमारे पास दो variable है, a equals 5 and b equals 6. All right. अभी हमको check करना है कि कौन सा variable बड़ा है और either 6 is greater or 5 is greater. All right, so we can use conditional operation, which is if b is greater than a, then colon print b is greater. All right. Using this greater than operation, we can check the condition of our both the integer variable. Now let's execute the script. So b is greater than, which means yes, जो b का डेटा है वो a के डेटा से ज्यादा है. अगर हम यहाँ 7 डालते हैं तो हमारे कोई भी आउटपुट नहीं आएगा. As you can see, हमें कोई भी आउटपुट नहीं मिला क्योंकि ये डेटा b से क्योंकि a b से बड़ा है और b a से छोटा है, right? But still, if we want to get some output, then we can use else keyword. Using else keyword, we can add one more operation. If this condition is false, then we'll get this function or this code. Then a is in this condition a is greater. All right. A is greater. All right, we have successfully gotten an error. No, successfully get this whole result. Now let's add something like 5. So in this condition, we'll get b is greater. All right. So this is how conditional operation works in Python. You can just use if and else to get to use the conditional operation in Python script. Like this, we have multiple operations like greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, equal means it gives us a result if both the variables are equal or not. Comparison, everything is called as a comparison operator. So these are the comparison operators, and this is used to check if not equals. All right. So if so these are the comparison operations in Python. Greater than is used to compare if if a is greater than or b, greater than b. All right. So and greater than or equal to will give us result if a is greater than or equal to, which means if we have a is equal to 5 and b is equal to 5, then this condition is true because a is greater than or equal to, which means it is equal to. All right. So yes, this is how comparison operator works. So that's it for the today's session, guys. Now we'll discuss everything from scratch. So we have successfully learned how to write a Python script. What are the Python data types? Integer, float. Let me type it over here. Int means integer. All right. str means string, float, and boolean. Boolean is true or false. Then we have learned how to save Python script through .py extension. How to save, how to execute. Sorry, how to execute Python script with the help of CMD using Python word. All right, Python command. Then indexing in Python, how indexing works in Python. So this is what we have learned. Indexing. Then, so this is the revision types. So make sure you raise your message or raise your voice if you have any query regarding this topics. I hope you can clearly visible. You can just unmute yourself and ask if you have any query. Also give them permission so that they can unmute themselves.
Yeah, they can unmute now.
Okay.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are.
Okay. So why do we have to run this codes in the command prompt?
Yes, this is because we can easily run from VS Code also through this button, but I want to teach you that we have to learn the basic first. So through CMD, we can use means it provides us a low level services. If you will build a terminal app or terminal web app, terminal application, then you have to use a CMD, or you can either you can use a run button here, so to execute the Python script. As this functionality is provided by VS Code, so not every editor or every code editor has this functionality. So this is why I used CMD for everyone. मीन्स हम अगर डायरेक्ट एग्जीक्यूट करने जाएंगे तो कैसे एग्जीक्यूट करेंगे? डबल क्लिक करके तो हम पाइथन स्क्रिप्ट एग्जीक्यूट नहीं कर सकते. We can easily. This run button can also help us in executing our whole script like this. The output is AFAKFM. All right. Any other?
Yeah, can we get the data and can we save it? Like whatever we enter into this command prompt, right? Can we save that data somewhere in our computer?
Yes, through database, accessing the database, we can easily save our whole data. But for that, you have to understand this basic syntax, and if you're talking about how to access the database and how to store our whole data into database. For that, we can use MySQL database provided. It is open source MySQL database. So for that we are not gonna go there that deep into this course. So हम इसको सेशन में और इस वेबिनार में तो सिर्फ पाइथन, व्हाट इज पाइथन, हाउ टू यूज इट एंड उसके बेसिक सिंटैक्स से ही वर्क सीखने वाले हैं.
Okay.
क्योंकि ज्यादातर यहाँ पर स्टूडेंट्स है जो पार्टिसिपेंट्स है वो आईटी बैकग्राउंड से नहीं है, so that's why I'm not gonna deep that deep into. All right.
Let them introduce our final project or any other.
Okay. So throughout the session हमने ऐसा सोचा है कि पाइथन को यूज करके आप कैसे ऑटोमेटिक ईमेल सेंड कर सकते हो लिस्ट ऑफ पीपल को, वो हम आपको सिखाएंगे. All right. So this was our Python our final project at the day session 4, at the end of session 4. So हम आपके सामने बनाएंगे वो स्क्रिप्ट और कैसे सेंड कर सकते हैं ईमेल, और वो प्रोजेक्ट आपको सीखना मिलेगा. So this is what that's all. That's it for the today's session, guys. And if you have any query, then you can contact any of us throughout our social media. Well, okay.
So I have a doubt. Can we use other software or Visual Studio for
No, you can
Python?
use any software. Like you can use even Notepad also to make any script. Like if I'm opening it with Notepad. So this is Notepad, all right. So I can do the coding in Notepad also. It's not necessary to use Python VS Code. बट VS कोड और वो सब का यूज करके हम लोग क्या है कि इजीली कोड कर सकते हैं. वो मीन्स कलरिंग प्रोवाइड करता है, सिंटैक्स एरर है तो वो भी हमको सजेस्ट करते हैं. So that's why we are using VS Code, and that's called code editor. Auto completion of code वो सजेस्ट भी करता है कि हमको कौन सा कीवर्ड यूज करना है, कैसे यूज करना है, वो सब सजेस्ट करता है. इसलिए हम कोड एडिटर का यूज करते हैं. सपोज हमने इधर लिखा है कि हेलो वर्ल्ड, तो ये भी वर्क तो करेगा ही. Now let's save it and execute it. As you can see, hello world. If I type it hello Parth, then this will also work. As you can see. Alright. So you can use any code editor or Notepad, but I would suggest that you use a code editor of like VS Code or Sublime Text. They are giving us our full GUI support and auto completion feature and error suggesting there. So these are the features. Okay, you can get it easily. Any other doubts?
Hi Parth, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Hey Parth, I'm new to Python and I've learned only the for loop and if else statements only, and I've used operators like addition and subtraction and these all only. So
Okay.
while doing all this, I was getting a error like indentation error continuously. So can you please
Okay.
explain what actually this error is about, because I'm not getting it?
Yeah, sure. So indexing, like in Python, everything works on indexing. Suppose if you are talking about for loop, then for I, let me write one script for you. For I in range of indexing is like it. I was given a space like मैंने यहाँ पर एक टैब स्पेस दिया है प्रिंट के आगे. ऑल राइट. So this is called as indent in Python. So ये space indent है. अगर हम फॉर लूप में कोई और कोड करना चाहता है सपोज, तो हमको यही इंडेंटेशन में वर्क करना पड़ेगा, आगे इतनी स्पेस देनी पड़ेगी हमको. A is equal to suppose B is equal to, ऑल राइट. सो हमको ये स्पेस देनी पड़ेगी, इसी को हम इंडेंट कहते हैं पाइथन में. और
Okay, thank you,
आप जो
Parth.
इंडेंटेशन की एरर में के बारे में बात कर रहे हो, वो प्रोबेबली अपने यहाँ पर एक और स्पेस और मीन्स ऐसा स्पेस दी होगी कि जो मैच ना हो ऊपर की स्पेस से. सपोज इधर हमने एक टैब स्पेस दिया और इधर 3 स्पेस दिया और इधर भी टैब स्पेस दिया. So this will give us an error, as you can see, and an indent. Okay, so this is how indentation works in Python.
Okay, thank you, Parth.
So that's it for the today's, guys. We'll
we-
see. Okay.
We give you task from next session.
Okay.
So you can also work and learn. And if you any query about this session, you will ask us to our social media, or you can you also
can just
join
raise your message
classroom.
in classroom.
Classroom, yes. I hope you already joined classroom.
And make sure कि आप इस सेशन के बाद पाइथन को अपने कंप्यूटर में इंस्टॉल कर ले, ताकि नेक्स्ट क्या है कि टास्क हम जो देंगे, so that you can get easily complete it easily. और अगर आपको पाइथन इंस्टॉलेशन में कोई भी एरर आती है तो आप गूगल क्लासरूम में और हमारे व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में डायरेक्ट मैसेज कर सकते हैं. Alright, so that's it for the today's session, guys. Thank you for being here.
Thank you all. And let's end
And
this.
you can leave now. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Today's session is over. We will meet today.
Is there any attendance link, or you will be taken?
It's okay. Attendance is taken.
Yes, sure, sir. She'll take all the attendance. You can leave.